Democracy for the region is crucial, and this is very clear to President Trump. This is the last chapter of change, the last chapter of a nightmare for many citizens that were forced to migrate, that were forced to leave their country, or that lose their life. We're waking up from that nightmare, and we're waking up to dream in a prosperous Venezuela.
All right, here's how powerful Trish Regan is. She got to talk to Guaidó before the President of the United States, apparently. The President picking up the phone and finally talking to the opposition leader. Briefly today, he hopes to meet with a key representative. Guaidó's next week at the White House. But ahead of that, Trish Regan, primetime host, taking a look at a guy who's now the epicenter of attention in the world. Pretty brave guy in the middle of all this.
Really, really brave. I mean, all these freedom fighters, I have tremendous admiration for anybody who is willing to risk their lives as they have. And he certainly is in the thick of it.
I mean, it's clear the government is cracking down.
They've already arrested him once.
Financial assets, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a series of things, right? Now the Supreme Court's saying you can't leave the country and we're freezing your assets. I don't think he's interested in leaving the country right now, Neil, because he's now, having sworn himself in as president, he's not about to take a hike. But they're after him in a way that's not good. He is risking his life. John Bolton has come out and said, look, don't mess with him. If you do, you're going to be messing with us.
So Bolton doesn't want any brokers, bankers, traders investing in anything Venezuela, right?
True. That's another thing.
That?
Yeah, sanctions, right? I mean, that's what's going on right now. So PDVSA, actually, that's another story we can talk. The PDVSA, the state-run oil company, has some second.
Is excellent.
Gracias, gracias. I knew those years of high school Spanish would pay off.
And it got you this.
Well, I got to use it actually a lot last night, and people said, "Well, why were you speaking in Spanish?" And the truth is technically it saved us time, because he heard me only in Spanish. And that saved us a couple minutes on the translation. And when you're doing Skype, it takes a long enough time anyway internationally. And the other thing is, I had been talking to him in Spanish and communicating with him and some of his team members in Spanish. And so that's how they knew me. And so flip into another language or have a translator have been
every word and just tried my luck. You're in mucho trouble. What are you going to do? And they would have said, cancel this interview. But is it your sense that now he knows the government's cracking down on him? He knows the familiar Maduro script, where go after the opposition, and then the opposition, disappears. So he's a pretty brave guy in the face of that. He's called for nationwide demonstrations. What kind of...
They're happening today and also Saturday, he told us. Look, he's trying to win over the military, because in any country like this, I mean, that's what it's really coming down to, right?
And there's a break in the military between the generals and the...
And the rank and file.
Right.
Sure. I mean, the rank and file, they know how hard it is. And you're talking about 90% of the population living in poverty. You're talking about kids not having enough to eat. You're talking about kids, he said, as young as 12 years old, being arrested in the street by Maduro's team and thrown in jail. I mean, this is not the kind of life that any parent wants for their child. There's no opportunity. There's no chance at prosperity. So he said to me, as a father, I want to change this. And I asked him about, I mean, gosh, you've got to be so fearful for your life. And your wife, I mean, how does she feel about this? And he said, look, this is what we need to do, because we care so much about our country and we care about freedom. So a lot of people feel that way right now, but you also have people in Maduro's back pocket that have liked the system the way it is, because they're making money off it.
Someone always benefits from something, no matter how much chicanery. Did you have any chance, Trish, to get into the scribbled note that John Bolton had on a pad, 5,000 troops to Colombia, which is just next door?
Well, all options are on the table. I had a conversation yesterday with President Trump. We were talking about Venezuela, and he insisted that all options are on the table.
Now, what would those 5,000 troops in Colombia do?
Well, one would presume that they would. I mean, look, the Colombians, we don't want to be there directly. Like, let's. Do
you think that was a deliberate scribble?
I don't think so, but I thought to myself, wow, that's actually scarier than him coming out and saying we're looking at 5,000 troops. In some ways, I mean, that sent a message, right, to Maduro. And today we're getting reports that Maduro's maybe interested in some kind of negotiation with the opposition.
In other words, an exit plan, like we did for Ferdinand Marcos in the Philippines. I think we shipped him off to Hawaii. Everyone was happy with that.
And John Bolton told me on the show the other night, hey, this doesn't have to end badly, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he could walk away with a lot of money.
Well, what country would he go to?
Cuba,
Oh, okay.
Russia,
Yeah.
Iran.
Those are the names. Well, Iran, I don't know if he'd jump at that.
But, you know, I mean, I think that there's a way for him to exit peacefully, to have amnesty somewhere.
But a limited time to do so.
Sure. I mean, because the more you test this, the angrier the U.S. is going to get, the more Russia gets entrenched there. I mean, let's not forget, this is a country that's less than 3 hours from Miami. Do you really want Vladimir Putin having a base from which to launch? I mean, we haven't seen that kind of thing since, what, 1962?
That's right.
So I think there's a lot at play here strategically. It is valuable from an oil perspective, so it has strategic value in terms of its economy. In terms of the people, we don't like to see people suffer like that. We want people to have freedom, and we want them to have democracy. So there's that side to the equation. And then there's, of course, do you want the Russians, the Chinese, the Iranians, the Cubans all there, and Hezbollah, lest I forget, when we could have that relationship? So, you know, what do they say? You know, you want to surround yourself in the Western Hemisphere with some friends, right? Isn't that the Monroe Doctrine?
Exactly.
You don't allow the Russians to be playing down there.
All right, look forward to even more of this today. Did you ever confuse the language thing, like when you're speaking to President Trump, speaking Spanish to him and English to the other guy? You did. Right?
Ora.
Mucho problema.
No. I'll tell you, I actually had to switch my cell phone into Spanish mode. Really, because in other words, when I'm communicating, you know, the spell check thing changes it all into some bizarre English word. And
that's why.
Anyways, I had to change it. So yeah, I'm kind of thinking in Spanish. I'll be doing that until the situation's over again.
Look forward to it tonight.
Hey, by the way, can I tell you,
Sure.
tonight we have a very important guest. We have 2 daughters of one of the American hostages that's being held in prison, has been there for over a year and a half, and I've been talking to the family members, and they've been so scared and reluctant to come out. But now they feel that it is the right time. They're scared of what Maduro. In Venezuela.
Okay.
An American from Louisiana.
Incredible. Look forward to it. Trish Regan, thank you. Trish Regan, prime time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time tonight on this fine network.